welcome to the final installment of my Ravenna build, this what I call the crow dress or skull dress. This is the 5th part, so there are 4 other parts. I'll make sure they're linked down in the description below and maybe throw them up somewhere in the cards as well, but this is specific to the details on the top part of the base dress. So it'll be a relatively short video. I'm not going to go into like a walkthrough sort of style video. I'm just going to explain how I made the top detail part. There's just not a lot to it, so I think it'll be a relatively quick update, but give you some ideas on how I approached the top of the dress. I do still have a little bit left to do on her. She's pretty much done. I would wear it as is and be super happy with it. Really all I need to do is style the wig and finish the crown. Those will be shorts. I'm not going to make a full video of those because they're not at all complex. So I will just share out how I made those in a short and then move on to my next build, which is a Tea Party Sailor Cosmos dress made with some really cute rainbow fabric. And then I will do a full reveal of me in the entire costume. Probably in a couple of weeks after Animate Raleigh, because that's where I am going to have her on completely. Super excited for that. I'm so happy this worked. How did I make the top detail of the dress? So when you look at the artwork, you can see that there is like some sort of black backing with a silver sort of detailing on top and then a bunch of crow skulls on top of that. When you zoom in, it's kind of hard to see in the movie, but there's actually little black button looking things in between the skulls. And then also what appears to be some thin feathers on the very upper part in the back sort of area. So the way I decided to approach this was I was going to try to avoid using feathers. So I found this really neat black applique that I also used in the very front of the corset that I made. I took that and did that as the black part around the top of the dress. I did have to trim out some of the net edging between all those points to free them up, but other than that, it was pretty much ready to go. Underneath that is some silver lace that I lowered to the halfway point of the black applique so that it stuck out quite a bit underneath the black applique. That was just to add a little extra detail to the top and widen out this part because the black applique itself just wasn't quite wide enough to cover the top of the dress. So I added that silver part. Of course, I'll list these materials down in the comments or down in the description below. And then I found these neat little metal filigree pieces. They were originally supposed to be on the bottom of the corset, but they were too big and they don't bend without breaking. So rather than doing one long strip of silver on top of the black, I did a bunch of these little silver pieces. And then I also found some black buttons that had like a black fabric wrapping over them. Skulls are the same skulls they used in my corset. They're just 3D printed, broken apart and filled with hot glue to like get all of the support structure out, and then spray painted and hand painted to make them look a little more like bone. After I had all of my materials, really all it was down to was assembly. So like I said, I put the silver lace on bottom and then put the black applique on top of that, and then I measured out every 3 inches for the black buttons and just hand stitched those into place. And then on each side of the black buttons, I just hand stitched one of those metal pieces, which left like a little gap in between the metal pieces where I hot glued the skulls to. So it goes button, metal piece, skull, metal piece, button. The hot glue that I used was Sure Bonder, which is amazing, amazing, amazing. They say it's not super great for 3D prints, but with all of the grooves on the 3D print and the paint and whatnot, I think it'll be fine. So I actually used their black glue so that it would blend in better once dry. If you kind of, glance from the side and see a little bit of it, it'll just blend in better to the eye. So I used that hot glue on all of the skulls, and then I also added a little bit of the glue under the buttons just to secure them in place, because even with tight stitching they would still wobble a little bit, but having that little glue in place helped a lot. And then I just took the trim and hand stitched it to the top of the dress. That's it. Actually, there's one detail I forgot to mention. I did have to take the black applique and cut it in half because the black applique is like arrows going like one direction. I cut it in half so that I'd have arrows going this direction, and then overlapped it on top of the other piece flipped around. So you have arrows going this direction, arrows going this direction. And I really like the way that the back looks. I do still need to figure out how I want to finish the edges of the lace because they're just sort of raw edges. I cut my lace a little too short, so I need to put something on that to stop them from unraveling. And then I do have some black feather boas that I'm thinking about thinning up and just hand stitching underneath all this just around the top for that added feather look, but I haven't decided if I'm going to go that route yet. But the top part was super easy to make. Not a lot to it, but I think it looks rather phenomenal on the dress. I'm very excited with how it turned out, and all of that layering added a stiffness to it that just took that sort of flimsy satin and has stabilized the neckline. So that all turned out quite nice. So that's really all I have for you today. I'm actually leaving to go to Holiday Matsuri here in a couple of hours, so I didn't have a lot of time to detail out too much. Be on the lookout for an update about Animate Raleigh. I will share out my panel schedule and booth location, all that stuff in case you're going to be there. Once again, if you're going to Animate Raleigh, don't forget the code word Ducky. If you see me, I do have a special gift for you at my booth. And with that, I will hop off so that I can prepare to go to the convention. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit subscribe if you want to see more content from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!